Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel, as always. So as you all do know, we have got our first signing of this summer in Daniel James, which is very good news indeed, and obviously our first signing under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Obviously we've got him for around £15 million. Obviously I think initial add-ons included in the deal, which does potentially rise it to around 17 or 18 million pounds, and he has signed 5-year contract with Manchester United worth around £67,000 a week, and he's also an option of further year of course. So this is very good news. But obviously now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will looking to be building on this, and he wants to bring another 4 or 5 more players to Manchester United. So potentially Daniel James, has he got the abilities, has he got the minerals to make it to the highest level? That is the question. Obviously, he only had a year left on his deal with Swansea. Obviously, the move had been a bit of a delay, based on his father passing away a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, he had made him withdrawn from the Wales camp, but quite a few teams inquired about his services. Brighton came in right at the final hurdle for him. Also, Leeds were on the brink of getting him in January, and also Everton inquired about his services. But we do know he's going to fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy, perfectly. He's only 21 years of age, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recommend young players to Manchester United this summer. But yeah, he looks a pretty decent player. He's got exceptional pace. His work ethic's very good. His physicality, of course, is very good, and he can score goals. Can Daniel James? And obviously, it was only last season that was his first season in Swansea City's senior squad. I think he played about 30 odd games, 30 odd games. But I think he's primarily a winner. He can play on the left. He can also play on the right, and he can also play as an attacking midfielder. Can Daniel James? But he's supposed to be more effective from that left-hand side. So I do presume that's where Manchester United, of course, will put him. But let's be honest, he's a low expectation. He's a cheap acquisition, of course. But like I said, it's not always about spending a big on players. It's not always about getting then Galactico players, of course. Because like I said, it's we have got a history of spending a big on players. Especially in recent seasons. Prime example, Lukaku £75 million. Paul Pogba, of course, £89 million. Our most expensive sign. So it's not all about spending a big on players. And quite a few people have said we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer, because there's a number of players on our agenda that are available, of course, for reasonable figures. So it's good that we have got Daniel James on the board. Don't get me wrong, I have got some strong reservations about him. He's not really good in the air. He's not really good at tracking back, but he can cut him from that flank really well, and he can score goals. Can Daniel James? But he did graduate from Swansea's youth system. I think he did initially join Swansea in 2014, but last season with his first season in his senior squad with Swansea, of course, as well. So he's taken a big step in his career, of course, coming from the Championship and coming to the Premier League, of course. So he's taken a huge step. So hopefully he can exceed expectation levels, of course, at Manchester United. But now we'll be looking to get another 4 or 5 more players in, because it's very essential, that we do get our number one targets this summer, because we've got to get the right recruitment this summer. Because analysing our recruitment policy, it's very poor. We didn't get anyone in January. We didn't get anyone. We didn't get as number one targets last summer, because obviously reflecting back last summer, the board weren't backing the signs that Jose Mourinho wanted to recommend to come into the club. The spending speed is around £200 million. So like I said, that should be enough, to get us around 4 or 5 players on the board. But like I said, it's going to amount up to a lot more than £200 million. If we're cashing for Lukaku, if we're cashing of course for Paul Pogba, but there's a possibility chance now that Pogba and Lukaku could remain at the football club, based on the huge transfer fees they have currently put on them. So if we do cash in for them anywhere, it's going to amount up to a lot more than £200 million, and it will help us with our rebuilding process, and of course it will help us with our transition. There has been a bit of bad news in regards to the director of football. Like I said, Manchester United are not expected to appoint a sporting director in, so we do know that it's going to be Ed Woodward that's going to be overseeing our transfer business this summer. So this is very bad news, because we do need a structural change at the club. I wanted us to get a director of footballing, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to need backing this summer, and so it's looking likely now we're not going to get a structural change at the club. There has been loading candidate names being linked with that director's role at Manchester United. There's been talks of Fernandes coming in. There's also been talks of Darren Fletcher. There's been talks of Paul Mitchell. There's been talks of Patrice Evra. But now, according to recent reports, it's looking like, we're set to miss out on getting a director of footballing. So this is very, very bad news. Like I said, I thought, we do need a structural change at the club. But like I said, I do believe our expectations will be, going on into next season. Our expectations, going on into next season, will be probably, to finish in the top four, maybe in the Europa League, maybe in the Carabao Cup or something like that. Because I do believe in the next couple of seasons, our aspirations, will be, going for that top four. I think we're a number of years off, from mounting any kind of title challenge up. And at the moment, City strides ahead of us, Liverpool, of course, are strides ahead of us. So it's very imperative that we catch up with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. But we know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's in the process of rebuilding. He's working on, bringing the right players to Manchester United who he thinks are going to be good enough to represent Manchester United, who he thinks are going to fit, the culture of the club, who he thinks, of course, are going to fit the history of the club, and who he thinks are going to elevate Manchester United forward, of course. And obviously, he's also working on trying to keep his imperative players at the football club. But we do know we have been playing catch up for the last 5 or 6 years, because obviously, we've been mismanaged in the last 5 or 6 years. Since Alex Ferguson retired, we've had different managers with different philosophies. A hell of a lot of money has been invested into the club. We do know, players have come in, and of course, players have gone, of course. So, like I said, we have been playing catch up for the last 5 or 6 years. But like I said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is looking to buy into our history and all that. But like I said, I think we're a number of years off, from mounting any kind of title challenger. But Solskjaer was saying towards the back end of last season, he still believes we can attract players to the elite level, even though we're not in a Champions League football for next season. So this is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does believe. But he was saying towards the back end of last season, he still believes he was basically saying that he had been contacted by a number of agents, saying that their players do want to come to Manchester United. But we need to see vast improvements, going on into next season, and then of what we saw currently last season. Because obviously, last season we finished 6th, and of course, didn't win any silverware. So we need to see vast improvements going on into next season. And in regards to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is he going to succeed in these conditions now that it's looking likely, we're not going to get a sporting director in? Is he going to succeed in these conditions? And I like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a lot. He was a great player for us for 11 years, but he hasn't really got the experience of managing, not really to the highest level, especially. So he hasn't really got the experience. He hasn't really won much. He won a couple of Norwegian titles with Moldham and all that. So I don't know if he's, if he's got the stature, to command us in that position, of course, where we do want to be. And obviously, time will tell going on into currently next season. And if everything does go on next season, I will be critical of him, and I will want him out of Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but I still love him to bits. But I don't want us to keep sacking managers, because we haven't got the structure to keep sacking managers. Managers, have already sacked 3 managers, since Alex Ferguson retired, of course. So we haven't got the structure, to keep currently sacking managers. So it's very pivotal that we get our number 1 targets this summer. But there's so many players, of course, on our agenda, because you can see the deficiencies in the squad, and you can identify the areas where we are lacking. So, like I said, I think we need 2 central defenders, because defensively we're very, very poor, and that were proven last season, because we conceded 54 goals in the Premier League last season. Obviously, we definitely need a right back. We need new additions in that midfield, especially if Paul Popper is to leave. We need a right winger, and of course we need a striker, especially if Lukaku leaves, because obviously last season wasn't ruthless enough in front of goal, wasn't scoring enough goals, wasn't creating enough in the attacking third of the pitch. So yeah, we definitely need someone up front. So you can see the deficiencies in the squad. But like I said, regardless of who our current manager is, I know it's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but like I said, regardless of who our current manager is, we're never gonna, no one's ever gonna follow Alex Ferguson's legacy. Of course, we're never gonna achieve what we achieved, of course, under Alex Ferguson, because we had 20 odd years of success under Alex Ferguson. We are still one of the biggest clubs in the world. We are the most successful. We are the most successful team in England. Historically, we've won 13 Premier Leagues. We've won 20 all in all. So some players, still may want to come to Manchester United, of course. But yeah, it's very, very good that we have got our first signing on the board. Through Daniel James. That is very, very good news. But we want to currently build on this now, and get our other targets, of course. So I think possibly, the second signing is going to be Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon. I've been updating you about him on a regular basis. Reportedly, Manchester United have put an improved offering for Bruno Fernandes. Reportedly, Bruno Fernandes, said he would talk to Sporting Lisbon about leaving. If a team made an offer, that he can't currently refuse and all that. But he has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. We do know Bruno Fernandes has been one of our priority targets. Reportedly, Manchester United are prepared to pay up to £71 million for his services. I think initially, Sporting Lisbon are demanding around £71 million. But like I said, he's primarily an attacking midfielder. It did come out last week, saying that Ed Woodward, was hesitant over Manchester United, spending, big, he was hesitant over our move for Bruno Fernandes. But I think, Ed Woodward has got reservations, about us spending big on players who he doesn't think are going to step up to the mark. And let's be honest, Bruno Fernandes has not really played to the highest level as yet, but, he has done good in his... He has done good in his couple of seasons with Sporting Lisbon. I do believe he can come to Manchester United and replicate that form, and I do believe he can come and exceed expectation levels in the Premier League. Can Bruno Fernandes without a shadow of a doubt, and I do really like him a lot. We do know it's been mainly Manchester United and Manchester City that have been battling out for his services, but initially it came out last week saying that City. He said City had opted out of the race, and it did say City have withdrawn their interest in Bruno Fernandes, because it did initially say that Manchester City were only willing to pay £47 million for his services. It did say City willing to offer a couple of their players as part of the deal. So reportedly now Manchester City have opted out of the race. A lot of reports have come out from the Portuguese press last week saying that Tottenham went in there for him. It also said that Liverpool of course went in there for him, and obviously Tottenham want to get maybe a couple of players in this summer, because they haven't done any transfer activity in the last couple of windows. Obviously, the last player Tottenham side was Lucas Moura back in January 2018. So, like I said, they haven't done any transfer activity in the last couple of windows. Obviously, Mauricio Pochettino is going to want back in this summer with Tottenham and all that, because I think it did initially say before the Champions League final, I think Pochettino threatened to resign as Tottenham manager, of course, if he isn't back this summer. So Bruno Fernandes is on their agenda. Obviously, they're seeing Bruno Fernandes as an alternative, to Giovanni Lo Celso, because Giovanni Lo Celso has been Tottenham's, priority target. But recent reports said that Tottenham have had a bid turned down for Giovanni Lo Celso, so they're turning their attentions more on Bruno Fernandes. And obviously, they're looking for the replacement for Christian Eriksen, because obviously Christian Eriksen, could leave Tottenham. Obviously, he's linked with the move to Real Madrid. So Tottenham have got quite a few players on their agenda this summer. But I think according to all of the Portuguese press, we are in the ascendancy of getting a deal over the line for Bruno Fernandes. But he has been on our agenda, for quite some time. Like I said, he's only 24 years of age. He's got a hell of a lot of development in him. He was saying was Bruno Fernandes. He still watches the Italian Championship and all that, and he follows it and all that. There's Bruno Fernandes, and he did say he had a great time in Italy and all that, because obviously when he was younger he spent the majority of his career in Italy. Obviously with Sampdoria and obviously Udinese and all that. So when he was younger he spent the majority of his career in Italy. Did Bruno Fernandes, but I like him a lot. He bring them goals that we need in that midfield. He can also provide very good player indeed, Bruno Fernandes, and if he comes to the Premier League he's going to take his footballing career to the next level. Obviously he's under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023. His initial release clause is around £86 million, but reportedly Manchester United now have come up with an improved offer to get a deal over the line for the player. So I think his move to Manchester United now is very imminent, of course. Obviously he did initially say, we had scheduled a meeting with Sporting Lisbon, to get a deal finalised for Bruno Fernandes. So he's moved to Manchester United now. He's looking very imminent indeed. So this is very good news. So I think it's very imminent. He's going to be our second signing. If Liverpool, I think he admitted the other week, that he likes Liverpool, Bruno Fernandes, and I think if he was to go to Liverpool, which is not going to happen, I don't think he would fit Liverpool's system perfectly. Liverpool and that can offer him Champions League football, but I think he's moved to Manchester United now. He's looking very imminent indeed, and looking at if Paul Pogba was to leave Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes would be the adequate replacement for him, because like I said, he is primarily an attacking midfielder. So he's the type of player Manchester United should be looking at, but it's looking likely he is going to be coming to the club. So it will be fantastic for him to come and experience these facilities at Manchester United, but we are willing to pay around £71 million for his current services. And Bruno Fernandes did give us an update, was it 2 or 3 weeks ago now, about his future. He said he was still unsure about his future. I think he did say he's happy in Portugal at the moment, but he said if a big club comes calling in, he'll want to make the move. He said he's had a good couple of years with Sporting Lisbon. He doesn't know if he's going to be leaving Sporting Lisbon, but now Manchester United are reportedly willing to pay £70 million for his services. It's looking likely we're going to go get a deal over the line for the player. And I think obviously, I think another player that's likely, to come in. If we do, I don't know, but I think it's, it could be looking very very likely. Is Bissaka from Crystal Palace. Now reportedly Manchester United are preparing to put a bid in of around £50 million for Bissaka. Obviously, recent reports have suggested, that we have had around a £40 million bid turned down for him. Initially, Crystal Palace are reluctant to sell him because Crystal Palace know how much of a central player, that Bissaka is to them. But I think Crystal Palace are saying, they want around £60 million for him. So reportedly we're preparing to put a £50 million bid in for him. Reports have been coming out today, saying that reportedly he's told Crystal Palace that he does want to join Manchester United allegedly. Like I said, I'm still sceptical about Bissaka, coming to Manchester United because I don't think there's enough credibility in the stories as yet. But obviously, he's been one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, wants to recruit British talents this summer because there's a number of British players on our current agenda. But I do believe Bissaka, would be the right solution for Manchester United. Obviously, he's predominantly a right back, and obviously, we definitely need a right back without a shadow of a doubt. He's only 21 years of age. Obviously, he has spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace. Obviously, he graduated from their youth system and all that. I think he's been at Crystal Palace, since the age of 11. Obviously, made his senior debut in February of last year. Did Bissaka, and obviously, I think he's been in Crystal Palace's senior squad about 15 or 16 months. But obviously, last season, Bissaka, established himself as a first team regular, of course, and now I think he's regarded as one of the best right backs in the Premier League. Initially, when he was a lot younger, he was an out and out winner, was Bissaka. But obviously, as he was developing, he got rotated as a current right back. He has still got 3 years left on his contract with Crystal Palace. I think he's made about 42 senior appearances. I think it came out quite a few weeks back saying that we had submitted a bid for him of around £25 million. But obviously, this figure's going to be nowhere near enough, to convince Crystal Palace to offload him. But it came out a while back saying, that he's happy at Crystal Palace. He's intending on spending at least another season there with Crystal Palace. So, like I said, whether this £50 million bid gets accepted or not, I do not know. But Crystal Palace said, they want around £60 million for his services. And I do believe, he's got the ability to elevate Manchester United at least in the next 2 to 3 years. Like I said, his defensive capabilities are very, very good. So I really, really like Bissaka a lot. And even if he doesn't leave Crystal Palace obviously at some point in his career, he's going to want to rejuvenate his career. He's going to want to take his footballing career to the next level. So we are preparing to put a bid in for him of around £50 million. But like I said, with Bissaka, he'd be perfect successor to Antonio Valencia because obviously, we need a replacement for Antonio Valencia. Obviously, we know Valencia is leaving the club. Valencia has been a good servant at Manchester United because I said he's been a long servant here. He's been here 10 years. Of course, so we know he's leaving, but I don't know where his next destination is going to be. Is he going to go to the MLS? Is he going to go to Ecuador? Is he going to retire? I do not know. We need an upgrade to Ashley Young because obviously, Ashley Young has been here about 7, 8 years now. Obviously, he's made over 300 other appearances in all competitions. And reflecting back, when Ashley Young was younger, he was really, really good. When he was a winner, he was really, really good. Was Ashley Young, and I've admired his career at Manchester United. But like I said, he's one of the problematic players now at Manchester United. It was a mistake for Manchester United, giving him a new long-term contract. Giving him a new 1-year extension, should I say. Sorry, that was my current mistake. But like I said, he's past his sell-by date now as Ashley Young. He's 33, he's nearly 34 years of age, and obviously, he's no longer got the abilities, to fulfill that right-back position. So like I said, we need an upgrade to him, and obviously, we need a cover-up for Diego Dalot. So like I said, Bissaka, would be the right solution. So recent reports have said, if we don't, get a deal, over the line for Bissaka, we are looking at the possibility of Max Evans from Norwich. Now we are seeing him as an alternative to Bissaka. Max Evans, obviously, I think he only made it. I think it was on his first season last season in the senior squad with Norwich. I think he joined Norwich's youth academy. What was it, 2016? And this year, before he was at Norwich, he was in Luton's youth academy. Was Max Evans. I think he's only 19 years of age. I think he signed a new deal back in October of last year. Obviously, Norwich won the championship last season, of course. But yeah, there has been talks of Max Evans going on. I think Max Evans is primarily a right back. I think he can also play as a left back, but I think he's primarily a right back. And I think if Crystal Palace, were to lose Bissaka, I think Crystal Palace, would see Max Evans as a replacement for him. So we are seeing Max Evans as an alternative to Bissaka because obviously Bissaka is our top priority. obviously there's been talks about Thomas Meunier from PSG as well. And looking at it from a financial point of view, Thomas Meunier is he's a much cheaper solution than Wan-Bissaka. He's going to substantially cost us a lot less than Wan-Bissaka. Is Thomas Meunier, and like I said, it did get revealed that Thomas Meunier has been a Manchester United fan, since he was a child. He does say Manchester United and Arsenal have been in for him. It says Man United and Arsenal have made initial contact and all that, but I think he prefers the move to Manchester United. It didn't actually say that PSG want from 22 to 25 million pounds for his current services, and that is a reasonable figure. Don't forget. Thomas Meunier is predominantly right back. He can also play in other positions as well, and he's very, very versatile. But predominantly a right back, can score goals, can provide. Obviously, he's an experienced fullback as well. He's 27 years of age. Is Thomas Meunier. He has still got quite a lot of years ahead of him. He's got a lot of development in him. I still say he's got at least 3 or 4 years in him as Thomas Meunier. Obviously, hasn't played in the Premier League as yet. I think he's keen on the move to the Premier League, but he has been at PSG 3 years. I think he's made over 100 odd appearances. PSG, I think, paid around, was it £5 or £6 million for him from Club Brugge back in 2016, but he's only got a year left on his deal with PSG. But obviously, Arsenal have inquired about his services because maybe Umran is keen on reuniting with the player, because obviously, actually, looking at Thomas Meunier, flourished under Umran Ray's guidance, but since Umran Ray's left, Thomas Meunier at PSG has found himself these 2 requirements. So this is maybe the main factor reason why Thomas Meunier is set to leave PSG this summer, but reportedly, he does favour the move to Old Trafford. So these are quite a few right backs on our current agenda, but obviously, Wan-Bissaka, of course, is the top priority. Obviously, as well as I've been updating you on a regular basis about Matthijs de Ligt from Ajax, of course, because obviously, he's been a priority target for Manchester United, but according to recent reports, I think PSG, I think de Ligt, to be quite honest with you, is closer to joining PSG. Well, De Ligt is close to joining PSG, because recent reports basically said, that De Ligt's agent, Raiola, has been in negotiations with the PSG sporting director, and I think more talks are set to occur and all that, so they can get a deal finalised. But so many teams have inquired about his current services, because he has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation as Matthijs de Ligt. But I think now reportedly PSG are in the ascendancy. Reports came out today, saying that PSG have reportedly offered him around offered Ajax around £70 million plus add-ons, and I think PSG have also offered Matthijs de Ligt a 5-year deal worth around £340,000 a week, of course. So reportedly now PSG are in the ascendancy of getting him. Don't forget, PSG have spent big on players in the last couple of seasons. Obviously, on the likes of Mbappe and Neymar. Obviously, they are the 2 most expensive players in world football. But I think the 2 teams that are considered to be the favourites, to get a deal over the line for him are Barcelona and PSG. But we do know initially, at least in the last couple of months, that Barcelona have been in the ascendancy of getting him. Even though reports came out the other week, saying that talks had stalled, between Matthijs de Ligt and Barcelona and all that, because obviously Barcelona Barcelona were not willing to meet what de Ligt was demanding. They were not willing to meet what his agent Raiola was demanding. So obviously, they couldn't come to an agreement on the terms and all that. And this is the main factor reason why the talks had currently stalled. But yeah, I still say Barcelona are one of the current favourites. But like I said, it's looking very imminent. He's going to be leaving Ajax, but he still remains uncertain where he will be applying his trade next season, because I don't think Matthijs de Ligt yet has made a decision on his current future. But I think he also wants to go to a team that can offer him Champions League football. So this is why I think Manchester United are set to miss out on him, because obviously we haven't got Champions League football for next season. I think also Matthijs de Ligt wants to go to a team that can assure him first team football, and Manchester United would definitely be able to assure Matthijs de Ligt first team football, of course. And obviously I think first team football would be much easier for him at Manchester United than it would be for him at Barcelona and all that. And I think Matthijs de Ligt would help us with our own rebuilding projects, because obviously he's a central defender. That's one of the pivotal areas where Manchester United do need to strengthen up, and I think he would be the right solution for Manchester United with Matthijs de Ligt. He's only 19 years of age. Obviously recent reports have said, well, it's been coming out in the last couple of weeks, should I say, saying that Manchester United have offered him a lucrative contract, worth up to £350,000 a week. Obviously, this equates to almost £17 million a year.
And if this was the process, this would make Matty Stillett, one of the highest paid players at Manchester United, and it'd also, make him the highest paid teenager in world football. But I don't see this, currently occurring. But like I said, so many teams have inquired about his services. Manchester United, Barcelona, PSG. I think also Juventus have been in there for him. Obviously, Liverpool have inquired about his services. I'm reading a lot of reports. Was it last week? And I think this came from Matty Stillett's agent Raiola. He did say from his own preference he wants him to make the move to Liverpool, because maybe Raiola, thinks Liverpool would be the right solution for Matty Stillett. But like I said, the main factor reason why Liverpool have showed their interest, because obviously Liverpool have got Virgil van Dijk, and obviously they would be keen on putting Matty Stillett alongside Virgil van Dijk in their back line, because obviously they've got a good relationship. They know each other really well. They're both Dutch. They're both playing the Netherlands national team, of course. But I think according to recent reports, he's set to make a move to PSG. I think also Bayern Munich inquired about his services, but now reported they've opted out of the race. Also, Manchester City inquired about his services because they're looking for the replacement for Vincent Kompany. But in terms of the transfer fees, Matty Stillett is probably going to cost you from between 70 to 75 million pounds, or something like that, because that's what initially Matty Stillett is rated at. So he has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation, and he has been widely spoken about throughout the course of this window. But like I said, we're looking for someone to partner alongside Victor Lindelof, someone that can complement Victor Lindelof in our backline. And like I said, I think Matty Stillett would be the right solution. Obviously he's so far spent the entirety of his career with Ajax. He's been an Ajax player since the age of 9. Obviously progressing up the ranks with Ajax, and I think he's been in their senior squad since the age of 17. He's now 19. I think got named captain at the age of 18. Obviously won the Golden Boy Award last year and enjoyed a really good season with Ajax last season, so he can leave Ajax with his head held up high. But last season Ajax won the domestic double for the first time in 17 years. Obviously as well won the Eredivisie title for the first time since 2014, so that's 5 years, and of course progressed to the Champions League semi-final. And of course, like I said, Ajax have got one of the best youth academies in world football, of course. But yeah, I think Matty Stillett wants to rejuvenate his career and wants to take his footballing career to the next level. So it's looking very, very likely he is currently going to be leaving. But according to recent reports now, PSG are in the current ascendancy. So I think we are set to miss out on Matty Stillett. But like I was saying, I think we need 2 central defenders, because I don't think Smalling's good enough. I don't think Phil Jones is good enough for Manchester United, because they have been 2 long-serving players at the club of Smalling and Phil Jones. Smalling's been here 9 years. Jones has been here 8 years, and they have demonstrated how long they've been here. That they can play well, that they can hold the lines and all that. But like I said, they're too inconsistent now. Plus they're aging up. It was a bad mistake for Manchester United. Giving Smalling and Jones new long-term contracts. So that was a bad mistake for Manchester United. I know we've got Eric Bailly, but I think Eric Bailly, of course, needs to go. He's too injury prone now, and I think his career, Manchester United career has been badly affected. With the injuries he's sustained. With his fallout under managers and all that. And I think Manchester United are open to selling Eric Bailly, but I think we'd be looking to recoup the initial £30 million that we did pay for him from Villarreal back in 2016, and he burst into the scenes really well when he came into the Premier League and all that. And I still think he's got great potential. Obviously, it was one of Jose Mourinho's first signings. Obviously, we paid £30 million for him. Jose Mourinho bought 11 players and spent just under £400 million, but obviously Eric Bailly was the first sign, so it would be beneficial, if we did get rid of him. Obviously, Marcos Rojo is expected to leave the club, so too Darmian, he's expected to leave the club, so I think an estimated guess, we can get around 25 or £30 million, for Matteo Darmian and Marcos Rojo, so I do believe that we need 2 central defenders. Obviously as well... Obviously as well, there has been a lot of talks about Harry Maguire from Leicester, currently going on. Obviously, obviously, it says Manchester United and Manchester City are in for Harry Maguire. Like I said with Harry Maguire, he's been relentlessly, linked to move to Manchester United. I don't think he's one of our priority targets, but he has been relentlessly, linked to move to Manchester United. The rumours have, continued to persist since last summer, because obviously, the process started under Jose Mourinho. Obviously, Harry Maguire was one of the players that Jose Mourinho currently wanted, but obviously we didn't get Harry Maguire last summer, because I think Leicester said they wanted around £70 million. obviously, Manchester United were reluctant to currently pay that. But now, recent reports have said, that Leicester want around 80 or 90 million pounds him. So basically, Leicester have priced Harry Maguire out of the transfer market, because I think Leicester, want to keep him. Leicester know how much of an essential player that Harry Maguire is there to them. But reportedly, they want 80 or 90 million pounds for his services. So like I said, it is Manchester United and Manchester City that are battling out for him. I think Manchester City have identified Harry Maguire as their number one target, to replace Vincent Kompany. But I don't think Manchester United and Manchester City would be willing to pay up to 80 or 90 million pounds for his services, even though Manchester United and Manchester City have got the financial power to meet that valuation. But I just don't think he's worth 80 or 90 million pounds is Harry Maguire. So basically, it's been blatantly made clear, we have Manchester United and Manchester City have to break the world transfer record to get a deal over the line for him. And obviously, if Manchester United and Manchester City were willing to pay 80 or 90 million pounds for his services, obviously it would make Harry Maguire the most expensive defender in world football. Obviously, the most expensive defender at the moment is Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk, who Liverpool of course paid 75 million pounds for. And it would also make him the most expensive English player of all time, ahead of Kyle Walker. Obviously, Kyle Walker at the moment is the most expensive English defender. Obviously, City got him for around 50 million pounds a couple of years ago, and I think there was initial add-ons included in the deal of around what. I think there was initial add-ons including deal, which did potentially rise it to around 52 or 53 million pounds. But I like Harry Maguire, don't get me wrong, he's proven in the Premier League. Obviously, he signed a new long-term contract with Leicester last summer, so I think he signed a 5-year deal, was it? So he's under contract with Leicester until 2023. I think he's made about 101 appearances in the Premier League. Leicester got him from Hull City, for around 17 million pounds. So looking at it from a financial point of view, if Leicester could get 80 or 90 million pounds from Leicester, would make him a huge profit on the player. But Leicester know how much of an essential player he is. He's 26 years of age, he's in his prime. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him as Harry Maguire. And even if Harry Maguire does not leave Leicester this summer, at some point in his career he's going to want to rejuvenate his career. He's going to want to take his career to the next level, and he's going to want to go to a team that can offer him Champions League football, and go to a team that can win trophies, go to a team that can compete. And I think obviously at this moment in time, Manchester City would be the right solution for Harry Maguire. So he has been subject to a lot of transfer speculation. Obviously, has been Obviously, giving you an update as well about Toby Alderweireld from Tottenham. Obviously, he's on Manchester United's agenda, but I don't think it's initially in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans, to recommend Toby Alderweireld in. Like I said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to bring young players in. He's not intending on bringing any short-term players to the club. And, you probably would get a couple of years out of Toby Alderweireld, but like I said, he's aging up now. He's 30 years of age, and don't get me wrong, I've got some strong reservations about Toby Alderweireld. Like I said, for aging up, he has lost that yard of pace, but I still believe he would be a great upgrade in our defence, would Toby Alderweireld, of what we've currently got. He's proven in the Premier League, he's been at Tottenham about 4 years, but like I said, he's a cheaper solution, very cheaper solution. He's obviously going to substantially cost us a lot less than, Koulibaly from Napoli, obviously, Matty Stillett from Ajax, Harry Maguire from Leicester. So looking at it from a financial point of view, he's a cheap alternative. Toby Alderweireld is available for £25 million this summer because that's his initial release clause. Obviously, Tottenham, I think, was it back in January of this year, activated this 12-month extension and included this £25 million release clause. But we was linked with Toby Alderweireld last summer. So these are so many central defenders on our current agenda, of course. But we need to definitely get one in. Like I said, I think probably 3 or 4 players are expected to leave Manchester United this summer. Maybe 5 players are expected to currently leave. I think Matic needs to go, but obviously Matic isn't going to leave the club. But I think he needs to go because I've got strong reservations about him. He's too slow. Plus, he's aging up and all that. Obviously, Manchester United paid around £40 million for his services, and I think we need a central defensive midfielder. Like I said, Fellaini left back in January. Fellaini's left back in January. Matic is too inconsistent, like I've just said. And obviously, we've got Scott McTominay, McTominay, did demonstrate, towards the back end of last season that he can play well, he can play between the lines and all that, but McTominay, of course, is too inexperienced, so I do believe we need a holding midfielder. Like I said, Sanchez definitely needs to go, because he's one of the problematic players at Manchester United. With Lukaku, I think he definitely needs to go as well, because obviously he's no longer assured first team football at Manchester United, is Romelu Lukaku, because obviously that was obviously, that got shown in his second season. Obviously, he enjoyed a difficult second season at the club, because we know mainly Marcus Rashford had been first choice ahead of him, so he's no longer short first team football at Manchester United. But obviously, based on a huge transfer fee that we have put on Lukaku, there's maybe a possibility chance that he could remain at the football club. But we do know that Lukaku has been heavily linked to move to Inter Milan. Obviously, Inter Milan want to get him on the board. It's Antonio Conte's number one target. Obviously, Antonio Conte got appointed as Inter Milan's new manager a couple of weeks ago, and like I've just said, he's identified Romelu Lukaku as his number one target. Reports came out a couple of weeks ago, saying that we want around £80 million for Lukaku. Obviously, we're looking to recoup the majority of the money that we did pay for him from Everton back in 2017. Because initially, we paid £75 million to him. Obviously, there were several add-ons included in the deal of £15 million, so it had potentially, risen the deal to £90 million. Obviously, Lukaku's still got 3 years left on his contract, and he's on about £250,000 a week. But obviously, this £80 million we are demanding, obviously, Inter Milan are going to be reluctant to pay that. So this could be the stumbling block of Lukaku making his move to Inter Milan. I think from Lukaku's preference, he wants to make the move to Inter Milan, because obviously he was talking a while back about his dream playing in the Serie A and all that, and obviously Lukaku's agent had revealed a while back that his future is currently very, very open. Obviously, I think Inter Milan need to raise around £40 million before the end of this month to meet financial fair play regulations. So obviously this could be another stumbling block of Lukaku making his move to Inter Milan. But it came out quite a few weeks back, basically saying that Lukaku had been in Italy negotiating with Inter Milan's representatives over getting a deal finalised and all that. And he did initially say that everything has been agreed apart from the initial fee, so it hasn't been fully finalised. He did say Inter Milan had agreed personal terms. It also said Inter Milan had agreed around a 5-year deal with Lukaku worth around £7.5 million a year. And it also said Inter Milan were willing to meet his wage demands, and it also said Lukaku was willing to take a pay cut to make his move to Inter Milan. But obviously they haven't come to an agreement on the initial fee. Recent reports basically suggested out, saying that, we have turned down a player plus cash offer from Inter Milan, because obviously, they've offered, Ivan Perisic, plus cash for Romelu Lukaku, but reportedly Manchester United have turned this down, because we know that Ivan Perisic is no longer a Manchester United target. He was a long-term target, under Jose Mourinho was Ivan Perisic, but he's no longer now a Manchester United target. Obviously, I think Inter Milan have also offered Icardi as part of the deal, but I don't think Icardi, I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been keen on bringing Mario Icardi in, but we've got to get rid of Lukaku. Like I said, he's one of the problematic players at the club. Like I said, his ratio's still very good in the Premier League. He's scored a lot of goals in the Premier League. His pedigree's very, very good in the Premier League. And he did well in his first season with Manchester United. I think he scored 27 goals in all competitions. I think he scored 42 goals in 96 games in his 2 seasons there with Manchester United as Romelu Lukaku. But he enjoyed a really difficult second season with the club. And I've got some reservations about him, as you all know. He's not good in the eyes, too inconsistent. He's a big game bottler. He hasn't really got that endless potential as Lukaku. And like I said, I've got strong reservations about him. His first touch also, concerns me. So I've got so many strong reservations about him. So we have potentially got to get rid of him. But he has been heavily linked with a move to Inter Milan. And I think he wants to make the move to Inter Milan because he wants to play under Antonio Conte, obviously. But Manchester United told him a couple of weeks ago, that he can leave the club. Solskjaer told him that he's surplus to requirements. And obviously he's 26 years of age. He's still got a lot of development in him. So obviously, he's going to want to go to a club that can show him first team football. Like I said to you, we have let far too many players' contracts run down. That's been another issue. Obviously, we've got Rashford in the final year of his deal. Obviously, we have been in talks of getting Rashford a new deal. Of course, obviously, we haven't yet got him a new deal. I don't think we're orchestrating on selling Marcus Rashford because we still believe he's the long-term solution for Manchester United. Recent reports have come out saying that Barcelona are interested in signing him, and I think Barcelona are looking to sign him if they don't get Griezmann or if they don't get Neymar. So basically, they're seeing Rashford as an alternative, to Neymar or Griezmann. But like I said, we're not intending on selling Rashford. You know, he's 21 years of age. He has still got a hell of a lot of development in him, and it's going to take him a couple of years, you know, to get into that level where he currently wants to be. You know, Rashford, I know he has been inconsistent in the last couple of months, but Manchester United not intending on selling him. Like I said, you know, we've got De Gea. He's in the final year visa current contract. Obviously, it came out a couple of weeks ago, you know, saying that, you know, he had turned down a final contract offer from Manchester United, but now according to recent reports, it does, according to recent reports, it does actually, you know, say. It does actually say that Manchester United are willing to offer him a new contract. Obviously, it remains uncertain whether David De Gea is going to be willing to accept this or not. Reportedly, it does say De Gea is demanding around £350,000 a week from Manchester United. You know, reportedly Manchester United are not willing to meet his current wage demands, and this is the main factor reason, you know, why we haven't got him a new contract and all that. But we do know his likely destination if he does leave Manchester United is PSG. Obviously, now PSG have set their interest up in David De Gea, because obviously, Buffon is leaving PSG and all that, and obviously, they're going to want to replace him for him at PSG. But reports did say that PSG are preparing to put a bid in for him around £60 million. They're also willing to meet him his £350,000 a week wage demands. But like I said, we want to cash in for De Gea this summer rather than letting go on a free transfer next year, because that would be a calamity if we let David De Gea go on a free transfer next year. Like I said, at full value for the goalkeeping, I'd say David De Gea is worth around £100 million. But for the goalkeeper, because he's potentially the best goalkeeper in the world. But obviously, we're not going to get £100 million for De Gea, because he's only in the final year of his contract. If he'd had about 2 or 3 years maybe, on his contract, we probably would have got around £100 million for him. But he has been a good servant here. He has been here 8 years as David De Gea, as you all know. Obviously, he has made over 300 other appearances in all competitions. I think he's got about 100 Premier League clean sheets. Obviously, he's won everything here domestically, like I said, and he hasn't really done much wrong in his 8-year period. He did make costly mistakes towards the back end of last season, but that was mainly to do with the contractual situation and all that. We do know Real Madrid have been long admirers of David De Gea. Real Madrid were on the brink of getting him back in 2015, but due to a fax machine, the deal never currently materialised. I think also Juventus have been in there for David De Gea, so I think it's still looking imminent that he's going to be leaving, but we are reportedly willing to offer him a new contract, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how imperative David De Gea is. But I don't think it's in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans, to buy him a goalkeeper, to replace David De Gea. I think reports came out a couple of weeks ago saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was willing to promote Sergio Romero as our number one goalkeeper. Like I said, I've got reservations about this, because I don't think Sergio Romero is reliable enough as yet to become our number one goalkeeper and all that. I know we've got Dean Henderson, but Dean Henderson at the moment is too inexperienced. I think Dean Henderson needs to gain a bit more experience. I know he's been on loan with Sheffield United, but I think the club need to orchestrate loaning Dean Henderson out for another season to gain him a bit more experience. So I do believe we need to buy a goalkeeper to replace David De Gea. So there has been recent reports coming out about Jan Oblak from Atletico Madrid, as they have been currently updating you. So now, reportedly, Jan Oblak wants to leave Atletico Madrid this summer, due to broken promises, and reportedly his preference is to join Manchester United, because I think he was a Manchester United fan from childhood, was Jan Oblak. I think reports were coming out about this, was it about 4 or 5 weeks ago, saying that Manchester United went in for him. It did say, we was willing to trigger his £100 million buyout clause, of course. Obviously, he's under contract with Atletico Madrid until 2023. Obviously, he recently signed an extension on his contract. Was it back in April? As you all know, he extended his contract. I think he also got a pay rise in his buyout clause, but I don't think he got much of a pay rise. So I think his buyout clause is around, is it 100 or is it £107 million or something like that. But I like Jan Oblak. He's regarded as one of the best keepers in the world. He's not in the same calibre or level as David De Gea, but still a really, really good goalkeeper. Obviously, hasn't been in the Premier League as yet. He's been at Atletico Madrid 5 seasons. I think he's made over 200 appearances for Atletico Madrid and all that. I think it was only last season that Liverpool's Alisson had kept as many clean sheets as Jan Oblak. So that just emphasises how good Jan Oblak is. He doesn't leak a lot of goals. He's a good shot stopper. I've got reservations about him when it comes to him saving with his feet and all that. But he's 26 years of age, so he is potentially 2 years younger than David De Gea. So Jan Oblak has still got quite a lot of development in him. But I think also Jan Oblak is frustrated with a lack of competitiveness, with Atletico Madrid. I think he's very, very concerned about, the lack of competitiveness, with Atletico Madrid and all that. Obviously, he has won 3 major honours with Atletico Madrid, obviously including the Europa League and the UEFA Super Cup. So there has been talks about Jano Blanc, currently going on. Obviously, there's still talks about Andrea Onana, from Ajax, going on as well. Could he be a good replacement for David De Gea? We know Andrea Onana's only young. I think he's 23 years of age. I think he's had 3 years worth of experience in Ajax's squad as a starting goalkeeper and all that. Don't really know much about him. I think he's initially rated from between 35 to 40 million pounds. I think there was talks about him going on the other week. Was it 2 or 3 weeks ago? As he updated on it, did say Manchester United had around a 35 million pound bid turned down for him. So he's also being talked about. Obviously, Jordan Pickford's been mentioned in the past. So who would be the good replacement for David De Gea? I probably think it would be Jano Blanc. To be quite fair. Like I said, we have got initially release list of around 14 players, of course, and obviously, that includes Antonio Valencia on that list and Herrera, of course, on that list. But obviously, Juan Mata, of course, is not being put on that release list, because I think recent reports have said, we are willing to offer Juan Mata a new contract. I think obviously it's not going to be a long-term contract, obviously, because obviously, reflecting on his age, he's 31 years of age. So I think it's probably a 1-year extension or a 2-year extension. We've currently offered him. It remains uncertain, whether Juan Mata is willing to accept this contract offer. But Juan Mata, I'd love him to stay at least for another season. Probably people are saying he needs to go now and all that. People are saying he needs to go now because obviously he's major up and all that. Obviously he's a squad player, doesn't initially even get in the squad Juan Mata and all that. But obviously he's been at Manchester United 5 years. He's been a good servant here. He scored 45 goals for his in 218 games in all competitions and all that. And he has been a fantastic servant in the Premier League as Juan Mata. Like I said, Barcelona have been in talks of getting him on a free transfer. Obviously, Newcastle have inquired about his services. So yeah, recent reports have said, we've offered Juan Mata a new contract. I think Juan Mata has got just under 3 years left on his existing deal, but it has been looking very imminent. He's set to leave Manchester United. So like I said, that's mainly everything to update you today. So I think Bruno, now we've got Daniel James on the board, I think Bruno Fernandes is going to be our second signing, and hopefully Bissaka is going to be our third signing. So I'm very, very, excited. I'm always excited, about, transfers and all that, what players we're currently going to get in. But like I said, it's going to be hard for us to get the players we want because we're not in Champions League football for next season. But like I said, about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's still in the process of rebuilding. Don't forget, he is still in the process of rebuilding. Daniel James is now his player, obviously, who we've bought because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's here, but obviously, Solskjaer's still inheriting 11 of Jose Mourinho's players. He's still inheriting players from Van Gaal. There's Matty from the David Moyes there. Initially, Fellaini was here, but obviously he left back in January. And obviously, there's 4 or 5 players here from the Alex Ferguson era. So he's still inheriting all them players. He's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So, like I said, we'll see what happens, going on into next season. So Bruno Fernandes is looking now very, very imminent indeed. He did say he would tell Sporting Lisbon about leaving, if a big club comes calling in, and he obviously, someone makes an offer that he can't currently refuse, and he's willing to leave Sporting Lisbon, of course. But don't think he's yet made a full decision on his future, Bruno Fernandes. Like I said with Paul Pogba, he's obviously, being heavily linked to a move to Madrid. He's also, being linked with a move to Juventus and all that. So it's them 2 teams that are battling out for him. I'll have to look up a bit more about Paul Pogba. Initially, want around 150 million for Pogba. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't want to lose him because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how imperative Paul Pogba is to Manchester United and all that. So I will look up a bit more about Paul Pogba. So anyway, guys, drop your comments and likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.